What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. I wanted to make a video today because I wanted to break down why pivots did so well today, as well as why orb also did super well today, as you can see right here. So if you do not know already, both pivots and orbs are breakout strategies, and the whole idea is for both of these strategies to take advantage of the New York Stock Exchange Open. So as you guys can see right here, here was the New York Stock Exchange Open, and right after the open, the market just continued to move up in one direction. Now, the big question is, why did orb and pivots both do really well today? Well, first, let's talk about the fundamental reasons, and then second, we'll also talk about the technicals. The first thing I want to discuss is earnings. Now, when it comes to the earnings calendar, the number one thing to look out for are things called high beta stocks. Now, before I go into why NVIDIA is a high beta stock and why that was super important today, well, what is a high beta stock? Essentially, a high beta stock is a stock that has a lot of volatility and volume. In this case here, NVIDIA has an extreme amount of volume for one, it has a huge market cap for two, and the amount of market participants and the people buying and selling this stock on a daily basis is crazy. So we can assume that when earnings are coming out for NVIDIA, that there are going to be a lot of market participants. And in turn, that's going to cause a lot of market volume at the New York Stock Exchange Open. With that being said, if we take a look at Tuesday or Monday, we can see that both Monday and Tuesday were both days where a lot of low beta stocks were entering the market. In other words, if there are low beta stocks, I'm expecting the volume to be lower for the NASDAQ. Now, don't get me wrong, both Monday and Tuesday this week for orb and pivots were still really good days. If I actually come here, you can see on Tuesday orb had a winning day. Pivots did have a losing day on Tuesday. And if we come over to Monday, we can also see pivots had a win, as well as orb had a really nice win as well. So I'm not saying the earnings calendar is like the end all be all, but it will definitely help you understand which days are going to have more higher probability than others. Now, in this case here, we can see pivots gave us the buy stops right here, and as soon as the market opened, we flushed to take profit in less than 5 minutes. Now, orb normally continues the move from pivots, and that's exactly what happened here. So that is a little bit more about how I'm viewing the earnings calendar. There were some other high volume stocks that I can see here, such as Salesforce. We had Snowflake as well. So overall, there were some high beta stocks that really caused an influx of volume. Now, the next fundamental thing I want to talk about is the FX calendar. If we come into the FX calendar here, we can see for Wednesday, there were no red folder events. Now, generally, I do like to see 8:30 a.m. East red folder events come out. But as long as there's no red folder events coming out post 9:30 a.m. Eastern, and or post the New York Stock Exchange Open, that tells me that the market is less likely to chop. Now, to keep things simple for you guys to understand, because we only had yellow folder news coming out today on Wednesday, it told me that the fundamentals were going to completely prioritize the earnings calendar. And it looks like my assumption was correct. Anyways, those are the two main things I look at fundamentally driving the market, especially at the New York Stock Exchange Open. Now, these aren't the only two things that I ever look at. It's just the two things that I'm explaining to you now. Now, I also want to get into what is going on from a technical perspective. I want to keep this simple and straight to the point. So let's come out into a higher time frame, such as the 15-minute. And let's just keep on the pivots indicator. So as you can see right here, here was the beginning of the day. The market was clearly making higher highs and higher lows for bullish market structure. But the main thing to understand is that we were breaking out of the high of the day. Whenever we break out of the high of the day or break out of the low of the day, or in this case, we're also breaking out of the high of the week, that tells me that a lot of volume is also most likely going to enter into the market. So if we combine what's going on fundamentally, as well as what's going on from a technical perspective, we can have a pretty good understanding of how the market is going to react. Now, the same technical application also applies to orb. So let me go ahead and put off pivots and let's go ahead and turn on orb. As you can see, orb also broke out of the high of the day and closed above it as well. And just as you saw right after, the next 3 5-minute candles were all bullish. And again, we smacked TP in around 15 minutes. Now, I just want to show you guys as well that yes, our members are actually catching these trades too. So here are some of the pivots profits from today. Now, of course, let me go over to Orb and you can see that people are also catching this on Orb today as well. Now, the two main takeaways that I really want you guys to understand from this video is make sure if you're trading breakouts, look at the earnings calendar and see if there are any high beta stocks coming out. If you don't know if the stock is high beta or low beta, then just ask AI. Use the FX calendar and understand, is there 8:30 a.m. news coming out, specifically red folder events? If there is 8:30 news coming out, great. That tells me that volume has been injected into the market. And if there's red folder events coming out post 9:30, then understand that the market might chop. Now, once we understand these two things fundamentally, the next thing we need to understand is what's going on technically. As I just explained before, when we have a break above the high of the day, high of the week, or low of the day, or low of the week, that is also a scenario for high probability. So again, when the technicals line up with the fundamentals that I've just explained here, that sets us up for a very nice day like today. Now, I do decide to sometimes manually trade this because I have fun doing so, but you can actually completely automate both the orb strategy and the pivot strategy that I just showed you guys. If you guys want to learn more about it, I am going to put some links in the description of this video. But nonetheless, I hope this video was resourceful and helpful for you, especially if you are someone that's trading breakouts at the New York Stock Exchange Open. If you found it helpful, please leave a like, comment, also subscribe. That helps us out a ton. And if you want more videos like this that allow you to understand what makes a setup more high probability, just leave a comment below. Yeah, that's basically it for today. If you want to see more data regarding the orb and pivots, like I said, just click the links below. See you guys in the next video.